Tune destroy. Tune.
Okay, we'll get that squared away as soon as we get to moving. We should be through Bernardsville in probably a couple hours. I've coordinated with the chief of police there, as we have with all the chiefs of police along the way. So
Do you expect this to be very peaceful?
Yes, I do. Well, of course, we can't anticipate everything, but our intention is peaceful. And we hope everybody realizes this.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I've only been back from Vietnam 4 months now. And when I came back, I was under the impression that what we were doing was the thing to do at the time, you know what I mean? As, you know, you were there, and that's the thing to do. Make the best of it. I just wanted to go to Vietnam because some of my friends have been killed there. I buried my best friend right before I left. I was a military escort for him. And I said, there has to be a reason for this. There has to be. I have to see it myself. And I went, and to my discouragement, I found out that there is no reason. It's immoral and it's unjust.
There's an area there wide enough for the park to support vehicles. And if something happened in the meantime, you'd be able to get to your support vehicles, even if you had to come back with a medical team. Okay?
Good.
Fine, thank you.
Will you be along in this, or
Along with the march?
Who can I contact?
Well, I would be.
Cars out there.
Right, yeah, we'll have men all the way along to Aju, and I'll be, no doubt, going back and forth to Aju.
Good.
Okay?
Thanks.
Fine. Thank you, Scott.
Take care.
We're leaving the park here with some 75 people. There will be people joining us en route. And we'll be en route for 3.5 long days.
You see, what this all boils down to is, where does a person's loyalties lie when he finds that the goals of his service are in conflict with what he believes should be his loyalties to humanity? Even though I'm a West Point graduate, and even though I'm a first lieutenant in the United States Army on active duty, I'm many things before I'm an Army officer. I'm many things. Among them, what Richard Nixon has stated. He spoke to cadets at the Air Force Academy, and he said that all of you are citizens first and soldiers second. I'm a citizen first, but I'm also a human being. And as a human being, and as a citizen, and as a military officer, I reject the Vietnam War in its entirety. I believe in immediate withdrawal.
That's fine. Let's move out.
Mr. Tony, we're moving out now.
Another attempt to prove, to show that the Vietnam War is wrong, and that it's been stated by many people, but it's to the point now that all young people the people that are for the war seem to think that it's commies, pinkos, and freaks, things like that. And we'd like to show that another segment, and the segment that's doing the fighting over there, there's a considerable amount that do think that it's wrong, and think it's just a bad thing.
Thanks a lot. Can you tell us who you are, where you're from, and why you're here?
Yeah, Byron Clotter, Ohio State. Guess I'm here last Christmas when I came home. I got to go see a buddy of mine who's paralyzed all 4 limbs. And while I saw him, he told me about another friend of ours that got killed. So, came in a hope, maybe, seems like maybe veterans would be the only valid group that the people here would respond to.
You believe in the war when you went there?
Yeah, I volunteered.
That was crazy. What happened that changed your mind? Do you remember any particular things?
Yeah, almost all of it. Found out that we're throwing away a lot of good men, killing a lot of little foreigners just because they're in our way. And it seems like nobody seems to understand why we're doing that. But somehow our national honor seems to depend on continuing to throw away men and kill little foreigners.
there was a thing called a snatch mission where we would go out looking for suspects, VC suspects, or so-called. He might be a farmer. We were told they might be farmers anyway. So we would land in someone's field and grab them if they looked suspect, whatever suspects looked like, and take them back for interrogation. Anyone. And we never knew what happened to these people after we took them for interrogation, how they got back to their homes. Anyone would be grabbed, anyone.
We got a demonstration platoon made up of half New York people and half Ohio people. And what we're doing in these towns and these incidents is trying to let these people know what it feels like to be Vietnamese, trying to show them by not playing with yellow people, playing with white people, playing with white middle American people, let them know what it's like to have no political freedom, have someone come in and impose their will on your will. The guerrilla theater people are the Quakers' friends, our pacifist organization, and by allowing themselves to be mistreated by us, they're trying to illustrate what it would be like if Americans were civilians in Vietnam.
Get over here, damn it! Shut up. What are you keeping that barn?
My animal feed.
Check the barn. What are you doing the rope? Put it around his neck?
No, around his waist.
I'll hang him later. Down! Oh, get down. Get down. Put your head down! Keep it down! Take him over to the tree. String him up. Damn, we got breakfast. Yeah. Got a good one. Oh. Come on, knock it off. Hank, climb up in this tree. What do you got in that barn?
Feed.
What else?
Feed. Where do you keep your weapons?
We'll see, Papa San. If you're lying, you're gonna die, Papa San. Leave them for the snakes. Get the rope, we need it. Haul him up. Get on your feet, Gook. Get on your feet, Gook. Get on your feet. Get up here. String it up tighter. Get him up there. VC. How many VC? Huh? Buku VC? Buku? Huh? Buku VC? We need a bribe. Hey, chick with us. Hey, I'm tired. Hey, this guy's wasting our time.
Take him out and deal with him.
Hey, cut him down. You guys, set him down, bring him over with me. We'll get rid of this son of a...
Okay.
All right, look, let's get rid of him. We haven't got time for this. We got to move on. Okay. All yours, sweetheart. Look, good.
Well, I saw the whole town was almost half massacred. The town we went through on an operation to Cedar Falls in '66. And kids, dogs, everything.
I think my favorite was usually the knife trick. Either that or I had a good counterpart. He used to use a 2x4 and used to break it over their shoulders. A lot of times we punch him in the chest, man. And that way, you know, they can't tell because it doesn't bruise that badly. You always keep away from the face. And you never hit a prisoner when an officer's around. And or else, you know, if someone's visiting, like you know, camera people or something. We also took them over the ocean occasionally. This is in July. Dropped a couple of them out, you know, because we didn't want to take them back. You become like affected with the propaganda, and while you're over there, like you have a real deep animosity. At least you think you do. And then, you know, like after a while, you know, you can see that, you know, it's just not right. I know that, like after about 6 months, like I couldn't, you know, really get into it like I did in the beginning, because I saw a guy kicked to death before, and that really turned me off. He was my prisoner, and I went back to a base camp, and the guys took him out to the field, and then when I came back, he couldn't hardly walk. Then he died during the night. So like, rather than, you know, go through the whole hassle, they put him in a rice sack and dumped him along the way.
Sure, we kill families and babies and kids and that, but I mean, I don't know who. I don't know them no more they know me. I mean, we're complete strangers. We just say, you know, survival, man. So. Oh, when we did capture prisoners, we took them over to interrogation committee, you know. They couldn't make them talk. They took them over to South Vietnam, you know, and they would put sacks over their heads and tie them on the choppers and run them through the trees until they die or talk.
New York, get ready.
Okay, first hold up. Rep, you can have a hold up, please.
Hold up. Yeah, we send it back.
If they'd have went in, I thought we were licked before we started. We go in there to fight a war of attrition. We're licked. We can't sacrifice a man from this country for one of them there Asians, where they breed like flies. Johnson had him hollering, "Uncle," and then he stopped the bombing. When he stopped, he should have stepped it up. I thought maybe Nixon would do something. He's threatened to do it, but he hasn't done it.
You gotta defeat the enemy somewhere. Gotta make a stand somewhere. If you're gonna use force, use it. Get it over with. You don't shove young boys 18, 19 up there every year to get killed for nothing. Right? Get it over with. Well, I think there's still men who'll fight for their country. A lot of men will fight for their country. Whether it's right or wrong, they'll fight for their country. Well, why can't we conquer? We conquered France, we conquered Germany. Why can't we take that?
A lot of kids come back there with legs and feet off, arms off. They're crippled for life. Is Uncle Sam going to take care of them boys? I mean, is he going to provide transportation if they want to go to a ball game or something like that?
A lot of wars are wrong. I agree with that. When men get killed, there's a lot of things wrong. You have your thoughts, he has his thoughts, we have ours. To each his own. That's why the stars and stripes are flying, right? Yeah. The way you feel about that flag is your opinion.
As a matter of fact, we came out this afternoon looking for you. We knew that you were to be on Route 202, and we were driving along hoping to catch up with you, and we have. And we're all for what you're doing.
I feel as my wife feels. I'm with her, and this is long. It's a long, hard fight that we're all in now, and I hope to see the day that we're successful in ending it.
What do you think about the guys marching off? They've all been there.
They look like a bunch of punks to me.
No, these guys are all through there.
Oh, yeah, I know. My kid was there, too.
They got a right.
They have. Sure, they got it right. Let them go.
Can you imagine them being in the Army? If I was the first sergeant, they go in the guardhouse till they got cleaned up. There's the whole thing in this country. Respect for law and order, respect for the uniform and the military is broken down completely.
They don't like this. Why don't they go back to Hanoi?
I was the information officer for the 25th Infantry Division, 67, 68. And one of my jobs was to prepare all press releases and photos that went out of our division, which eventually went to the civilian press. And I was in, in a really good position, to see exactly the kind of suppression, the news suppression, and manipulation that keeps the American public from finding out what's really going on over there. It's a really complicated process. Our news releases from the Division Information Office have to be cleared by the Chief of Staff, the division, and then the commanding officer. Then they go to MACV, which is the Military Advisory Command Vietnam, and then they go to MACOI, which is Military Assistance Command Office of Information. Then they go on to JUSTPAL, Joint United States Public Affairs Office, which is connected to the embassy, who makes the final judgment on whether or not any information gets released. Well, most of the press is aware of what's going on, but they never seem to be there at the right time. Quite often, like when I was flying around as a courier, I'd bump into guys from news teams, and I'd sit down and talk to them in airports. And they'd tell me that, well, for example, the 5th Mech a year ago, April, lost 120 men on one hill up near Quang Tri. And they never made the papers back here. And the reason was the guy from the San Francisco Chronicle, when he got up there, was told that it wasn't going on and sent down to Quang Tri City to look at a pacification effort, sent on a wild goose chase. And that happens quite often, that newsmen are sent off in the wrong direction or prevented from joining a unit that's actually going out in the field. But I think the newsmen really want to send the news back. I'm not criticizing the newspaper people, but rather the PIO offices. We got a hose hooked up for you guys to use to cool off. It's over by the side of the meeting house. And what else? That's about it. Okay. Okay. Make yourself comfortable. Okay. As comfortable as you can.
Have your attention for a minute, please. Then we'll cool off with the hose. There will be some beer here for you to drink. And we've got a short day tomorrow in terms of marching, but we've got a lot of things to accomplish tomorrow.
But they had it coming because they busted all this with them.
I have that before.
I'm what people call a service brat. My father was a career officer in the Navy in aviation. Pretty big war hero in World War II.
Great.
Went in the Marine Corps out of school at the University of Virginia. I was pretty much a hawk because when I went in, I was really ticked off about the fact that the North Vietnamese were parading American flyers in Hanoi. So I enlisted in the Corps and dropped out of school. They sent me to Vietnamese language school because of my previous college background, etc. And we were taught by Vietnamese, and the people are really beautiful.
The land there is just beautiful. It's gorgeous. The greatest sunsets and sunrises I've ever seen in there. The farms, the children are beautiful. And American soldiers there, American machines are there, supposedly helping our allies, the South Vietnamese, when we're tearing up their territory, to help them. We're destroying villages to save villages, and we're saving nothing,
I got shot twice by a Russian-made AK-47. But really, we should know better, and we know how them Vietnamese people are. You see, they really don't care. Because like they're South Vietnamese in the daytime, and they're North Vietnamese at night, at Viet Cong. So they really don't care what government rules them.
You heat it up and eat it out of your hands.
I think we may need more ravioli.
You think we might? Well, there's some cases over there. Let's bring them loose.
Recon, get it together. Neil! Recon, getting it together over here. Everybody over on the left-hand side of the road. Yeah. Everybody on the left-hand side of the road. And the incident will happen there, so you all get a chance to see it, plus rap with the people. Okay? So about I'd say probably 500 meters out of the side of the main city. Okay. First, second, and third. Part of the first will be in the right-hand side. Part will be in the left-hand side. Second will be in the left-hand side. Third will be in the left-hand side. Fourth will be split. Okay, you just have to play it by ear.
Yeah, I know we can see them.
Let me show you back there, Bob. Move up, call down the area.
What do you mean, all right? You just shot him. He's dead.
You want to get shot too?
I didn't do anything. He just ran. What did I do?
You're going on. You're between 19 and 36. You come in.
Oh, I haven't done anything.
Watch the security out there. Come in here like this. Oh, shut up!
Shut up.
I said shut up!
I said shut up! You hear me? You hear me? All right. Get up on your knees, goddammit! On your knees!
Get up!
Get down, I said! Another hand back there! Get off my leg! Oh.
Hey, man, what do we want to take this guy home with us for?
Kill him! He's a
drag
drag
on us! Kill him! We don't want him! He's a drag on us!
Here!
All right, we got time for that. We got time for that. To take him back.
We ain't got time, Rip Law!
They can put him with a sandbag or a generator. Just take it easy. You may tell us a lie. You better talk, you kids, or we're gonna cut you right on.
Cut his belly open!
Over here.
Cut his belly open!
Okay, down.
Cut him out!
Down.
Hold me up, boy!
Something. We want to save our lives. You better tell us something.
I'm not in a unit.
Yeah, how come you have no ID, huh?
You took my ID.
Yeah, bullshit. Where are you from, huh? Who you working with?
The garbage man pick him up.
Come on, you want your guts to try, huh?
I know what you want.
We don't want to do it. We want to hear lies. I want to hear where your unit is.
I'm not.
Just information. That's all.
I'm loyal.
Who are you with?
I'm with nobody.
Kill him.
Well, I'll tell you, it was very effective. Very effective. It scared the daylights out of you. I got scared with all the guns passing on Main Street. You're not used to it, you know. And I didn't know anything about it. I didn't read anything in the paper. So. What do you think was the point of it all? Well, I suppose it's to shock people into it. What could happen in a small town like this, right?
Well, I think it is well done. It doesn't feel like a simulation. It feels like the real thing. That you've got some people who are really committed, and their integrity really comes across.
I don't believe that I should turn the other cheek when you smack me. And if somebody asks me to come to help them, I go to help them. Just like the South Vietnam government asked us to. They asked us to come over there. Nobody asked the Russians to come in here, the Viet Cong.
If they got shot up, they want to go out there and they want to be foolish enough to walk from here to Timbuktu and want to eat sea rations? Man, I'll tell you, I think they're sick in the head.
Have their share of hell. I certainly hope that it ends. I have had 2 brothers over there, and I don't want my son to go. Maybe it seems different. Maybe I've changed from a hawk to a dove now, and that's not hard to do when you've had so many members of your own family go, and some of them won't come back. And I've known too many boys around here. They'll grow up and send off to a other end of the world. It's rotten. It's just rotten.
I've been down to the Valley Forge Hospital, and I've seen what, the victims, the amputees and stuff, and it's really a sad sight.
What did you find that the American soldiers' reaction was to the Vietnamese while you were there?
Hated them.
Why would they hate them?
Because they're gooks. I mean,
what's a gook?
To me, it's North Vietnamese to me, but call them all gooks because they're Vietnamese. I don't know why.
What do you mean? Where's the word come from?
Gook? I have no idea.
If you think of him as a gook, or a Jap, or a Jerry, or a kike, or anything like that, you dehumanize the man or the woman, and it's easier to persecute and oppress that kind of person. In our case, it becomes easier to kill. And we don't want our boys turned into butchers and murderers, and we don't think the parents want that either, because they're going to come home to you, and they're going to be a little bit different than when they went. It's not going to be the same son you sent to Vietnam.
Okay, if I can have your attention for just a moment. There's a few things we've got to watch. The tree lines all the way around this place. Poison ivy. So be careful, stay away from the tree line. I understand also on the driveway leading to the swimming area that has been made available to us by gentlemen across the way, there's poison ivy on both sides of the driveway, so be careful.
Hey, nurse! Foot powder! Medic, over here!
Well, obviously I'm trying to take care of the feet of these poor men who have been marching for 2 days. Yeah, I guess it's been about the major problem. Luckily, we haven't had anything serious. More serious than sore feet, and that's pretty serious if you have to march 20 miles. It's been a really good experience for me being with all these men from Vietnam because I've been really impressed with them. I hope that the people who have witnessed the demonstration have grasped the significance of it because I think it's really important.
That's not working.
I joined the Army. Waving the flag, I went in. I really thought that I'm an American, you know, and I got to do my thing for the country. But then when you get there and you see it and you say, well, are we hypocritical? Are we really hypocritical about it? I caught myself, like, calling people gooks and then saying, wow, what am I saying, you know? This guy is a human being. He's like me. He's got blood running through his veins. But he's a gook. And you look in there and you see what's in that brain of this kid, you know, what has he had to grow up with? And you see it, and it's fear, and it's not understanding things, and it's just general hysteria type thing. And then I related back to my family, the children and my nieces and nephews. And you look and you have this flash and you see their face and you say, what if it was them? You know what I mean? What if it was our children? And it's a moving thing. It's a real moving thing that really I get emotionally about. And that's why I'm here. It's the children, it's the people, it's the human beings. And I believe in God, and I believe in what he says. And he says everyone is a human being, and I really believe that.
I was with an infantry battalion, and our mission was to search out and find and destroy the enemy. We'd interrogate the prisoners, and then for field information to find out what was going on around the area. Most of the prisoners we dealt with were fairly cooperative. We just slap them around a little bit and threaten them a little bit, and they come out with the information. And the attitude that the military has toward the Vietnamese people, it's standard policy to think of the Vietnamese people as lower sub-individuals, not on the same level as the American. And therefore, if you have this attitude, it's of course easier to kill or hurt a person like this.
While I was there, we had a mama-san who worked for us. And one day she came to me. I just come off perimeter guard, and she told me about her child being sick. And so I got on the phone, and I called the hospital to try and get a medic to go down to the Ville to see her kid. And we couldn't get a Jeep, and we couldn't get a doctor to go, and we couldn't get her kid admitted to the hospital. And this buddy of mine and I tried for a couple hours, you know, off and on, trying to get her kid medical attention. The kid died the next morning. And the story the doctors and the people in the hospital were giving is basically, well, it doesn't matter, it's just Vietnamese.
Where are you guys stationed? Hello. If you think you're doing some good, I'm glad to give you a place to stay overnight to rest in order to go on to your next trip. You can go anywhere over that field as far as I'm concerned, but the further up you get, the higher ground you get, and naturally the drier it is. Right. So you do whatever you please as far as I'm concerned. I mean, wherever it's comfortable for you.
Very good. One thing, can we bring a truck up to fill up with water for your well?
Yeah.
Because that's such good, clear well water you have here.
This is good water. There's nothing in it to purify it around. You can have all you want.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I'm sure the fellows will appreciate that. Most of them are city boys, and they don't know what good country water is, you see. So I'm sure they'll like that. Well, look, I know you've got your routine to get back into, and we don't want to take your time too much, but you have an invitation to visit us. Come down and eat dinner with us. How would you like to eat dinner with us? All we've got is pork and beans, but we'd like to have you down there.
Well, I don't have any more than pork and beans myself.
Well, why don't you come down and have dinner with us?
No, I don't think I can.
Oh, you
I appreciate it, and thanks a lot.
I tell you, if you change your mind, just come on down, please, because
I'll do that. But I don't think I'm going to change my mind.
Okay. So,
I'm one of these stubborn bastards who never changes his mind.
Well, look, we'll be leaving about 6 o'clock in the morning. We'll clean the area up before we leave.
You won't get away at 6 o'clock.
Oh, we got away at 6 o'clock this morning.
Did
from
you?
the last campsite. Yes, we did. We'll get away about 6.
I didn't know people from New York could get up that early.
Okay, so when these girls come out of the post office, put them to harassment, chase them down the street, okay? Now, they will just get lost in the action here. Have one guy yell at this fellow sitting on the bench with this girl. He'll get up and run toward the post office. Or there may be two guys. I'm sorry, toward the courthouse. But I think you're going to have to get up a little past the post office and cut back into it, okay? And then carry it on.
People get involved through various ways. They get involved because of conscience, because of loss of their own sons, or for whatever reason. And I think that the simulated attack by the Vietnam veterans against the war is another effective method of teaching the Americans that peace is necessary before the whole world is blown to smithereens. And we have stood quietly most of the time thinking that it will go away, that it is 10,000 miles from our shore and it is not our business. Well, I say it is the business of concerned Americans. Back it up! I said back it up! I said back it up, let's move! Back it up, move! The girl, take her! Take one for me, fellas!
Yeah, I got this guy's identification here.
Which one?
What's your name? Get out of that place.
Get that goddamn goose! Come on! Make him run! Get her! Take her away! Come on, let's go! Come on, let's go! Dad, let's go! Because in our name, we are devastating a country that never attacked us. In the name of democracy, we are bringing fascism 10,000 miles from our shore. And I think that the American people at last are learning that this is the way.
Shut up! I say, shut up! The American way, man.
Oh, wow, he's got a ring. Let's get the ring.
Let's get the ring.
There's the bastard there.
Hi, Rob. Get him off up there.
What you've just seen is something that the Vietnamese people experience every day. Absolute repression, an infringement on all civil liberties, and it's done in your name. They're murdered, they're butchered, murdered and butchered by guys like us who are carrying out the policy of this government that you are allowing to continue. If you continue to remain silent, you are responsible.
How do you get to be effective?
Effective in doing what? Helping the enemy or us?
Stopping the war in Vietnam.
Well, victory would stop the war in from 6 to 8 weeks. And if you'd have done it 7 years ago, probably not even half the casualties would be in existence now.
This community, I think, is all pro-Nixon, pro this whole community, right? And that's my opinion, too.
I don't think, myself, anybody should be killed. Everybody should have a right to live. Because black, white, pink, or purple, everybody should have a right to live.
If we weren't fighting it there, we might be fighting it here. And this is the way I look at it. I fought in Korea. I spent 16 months in Korea. And there's a certain amount of honor in it. And to do it all over again, I think I'd do it.
As long as they do it peacefully, do what you want to do. Each person lives their own life. Each person feels that they can demonstrate for what they believe. That's fine with me as long as they do it peacefully, don't obstruct property, personal lives. But personally, the best peace you can get is in your home with God.
I know, I thought it was... I think, first of all, if they want to protest, at least they could look a little bit nicer. Let's put it that way. They look like a bunch of a motley crew.
they have absolutely no conception of who we are, perhaps. Maybe that's part of it. And then other people, we stopped in front of a little tavern. Some guy came out and was screaming.
All over now,
He said he was a veteran, and we said, well, we were veterans. Well, he said, that makes no difference. You're all sissies because some of you have long hair. Some of you wear mustaches. You got to go over and see what the troopers look like in Vietnam. 3/4 of them have mustaches, sideburns, look pretty grody because they live pretty grody. And I think one of the main things is that the establishment has used patriotism as a club. You know, if you're against the war, automatically you're a communist, or you know. And I think if more veterans, people that have been there and have earned the right to at least say, well, look, I'm an American, and I was in the service, or I was in Vietnam, as the case may be, I have a right to say, you know, stand up and say what I believe, and I believe the war is wrong, and I most certainly do.
When a human being walks past a bunch of cadavers laying out in a pad, 10 or 12, not moving with ponchos over them, that does something to any human being. And we were pointing them out all the time, so I just got sick of it.
Well, now, I was at Quezon, and we were in a bind there because they were firing at us from Laos, and we couldn't shoot back into Laos, so we were sitting ducks. Guys were getting killed like for 4 months. The B-52s haven't stopped them. The Air Force hasn't stopped them. We've been over there all this time. We haven't stopped them. We've sent 500,000 men there. 43,000 of them died there, and they're still winning. The Saigon government has no support with the people in the countryside. They could have never moved the divisions back and forth across the DMZ that they did constantly without the total help and support of the Vietnamese people there. We'd go into a village, and every container would be filled with grain, filled with rice and stuff. And like you knew that the NLF was coming in at night and feeding and eating and then leaving in the morning. And like on certain days we got shelled, and like the people that, you know, the Vietnamese that cut hair and sold stuff down at the gate, they weren't there on those days because they knew the days we were going to get hit. And like you got up in the morning and you noticed the little shop wasn't open, you could count on getting hit that day because they passed the word around.
You're told the VC can be anyone. You don't know who it is. So therefore you distrust all Vietnamese. This could be a VC, this could be a VC. And from this distrust grows hatred. You see friends killed, you know, or else you say, why aren't we winning, man? You know, we're a pretty big country. Why aren't we winning this thing? And yet you look at all the people and you know that the VC can't operate without the people. I'm not disloyal to this country. I love this country. But I hate the things that we're doing in the name of liberty and justice and democracy.
We had Chu Hoys or interpreters with us who would talk to the people. We'd check ID cards, crawling out of bunkers and tear apart all their possessions and stuff, looking for weapons and root through their rice to see if they had ammo stored in it, or search it, like go through it with a comb just about. And sometimes you'd run into a little resistance, or you'd be halfway through a village. One time we got halfway through and a machine gun opened up, and here, there's villagers all around, and Charlie shooting and you're shooting, and the villagers are running, and people got to get hurt. There's no way around it. Oh hell, you holler stop. I hollered stop at 2 old men one day, and they didn't stop. And I fired a shot here, and they crouched a little bit and started walking a little faster. And I hollered stop again, and this time I pointed the rifle down lower and fired it very close to them, and they stopped. But if they hadn't stopped, I would have shot them, because when you're over there, it's not a question of war. It's a question of whether you're going to come back alive. It's your life. You're fighting for your life. You're not fighting for any principles or any values. You're just fighting to survive. For every GI that is killed, you got to keep the number of gooks that you kill a lot higher. Like they like to keep it up around 10 to 1. That's what they tried to keep it at in our battalion. And the body count, if you didn't get they even had a reward type system in our battalion. The company with the highest body count for the week, they had it published. They had a little thing that they kept up to date, mounted in each company area with the company, the body count for that week, the body count for the preceding week, and the total body count of that company since when this thing started. Gradually, as people found out I was in Vietnam, and they asked you the question, oh, you were in Vietnam? Yeah. What's it like over there? Like, in 25 words or less, to win the contest, you're going to describe what it's like in Vietnam. Yeah, you know, how do you explain to a person what a guy looks like? You say, well, one day this guy, he had both his legs blown off and he was screaming and we were trying to quiet him down because they were dropping mortars on us. And, oh, don't talk about that, it makes me sick.
Let you go to Hanoi. They need boys like you.
Scraggly crew. You see, I don't blame those fellows for not being proud because we won our war, you see. These fellows didn't. These fellows didn't win, and from the looks of it, they couldn't win.
Congratulations.
The remark has been passed, and I think there may be some substance to it, that some of these fellows said they were shot. We're wondering whether they were shot with marijuana or whether they were shot in battle.
I think this is another plot to divide America. This is spiritual warfare we're in, and we that genuinely love America, genuinely love God. They're inseparable. This America was founded upon the principle of freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and all these freedoms, and all folks have a right to that. But there is such thing as protecting the country that was given to us so freely.
So who do you feel is behind this plot?
Who do I feel is behind this plot? Yes. I believe that these are the latter days before the soon coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. And I believe that Satan is blinding the eyes of even God's elect. And many of these in the march today, I feel from my heart, are blinded by none other than Satan, anti-Christ, anti-God, anti-America.
So which organization do you belong to?
I'm the chaplain of the General Douglas A. MacArthur Post Veterans of Foreign Wars.
They should have made up their mind to fight that harder and win that war. Stop them communists. They didn't want to kill the people.
What did they call on
They didn't want to kill people. They're not people. They're animals. Them communists. Any communist. I don't care what his nationality, color, or what he is. In my opinion, if he's a communist, he is a beast. He is a godless beast.
Well, I think it's a bunch of young boys here that are been duped by higher-ups. And by that I mean by Reds, communists.
In high places.
High places, that's right. I don't hesitate to say this. These kids, if they'd only stop and think that they know what they're doing here today is wrong, that they should be standing with us.
We don't care to be on the road 3 days and talk to only people who are convinced that the war is wrong. We're trying to change the minds of those people who feel the war is right. I think we've raised some questions. I don't think we've converted anyone. I think we've caused them to think a bit. And I think that's what we set out to do, is to make them think.
I see the same thing here now with these kids playing with the guns that I know I went through and probably every GI in the service went through it. You see, when we were in Vietnam, we had real guns and we killed a lot of people.
And now what we're trying to do is we're trying to simulate, you know what simulate means? To make believe all over again, to show the people here in America some of the things that really go on. In order for us to do that, we had to put on our uniforms again, and we had to get these plastic guns. And the reason why we took plastic ones, we don't want to hurt anybody anymore, because we learned. And now, if you stick around, 3 o'clock, you're going to watch and see what we do with these plastic guns. We're going to break them up, because that's the only thing that guns are good for, breaking them.
I was there at the Little Big Horn. I heard many men lying, I saw many more dying, but I ain't marching anymore. It's always the old to lead us to the wars, always the young to fall. Now look how we've won with the saber and the gun. Tell me, is it worth it all? For I stole California from the Mexican land, fought in the bloody Civil War. Yes, I even killed my brothers and so many others, but I ain't marching anymore. For I marched to the battles of the German trench in a war that was bound to end all wars. Oh, I must have killed 1 million men, and now they want me back again, but I ain't marching anymore. For I flew the final mission in the Japanese skies, set off the mighty mushroom roar. When I saw the s*** burning, I knew that I was learning that I ain't marching anymore. Call it peace or call it reason, call it love or call it reason, but I